a drunken, man-sized, Spanish-speaking frog, a sadistic, Satan-like creature, a weird, man-hog kind of thing. Not your typical comic book heroes, but Jim Woodring isn't your usual cartoonist. His art is less about making you laugh than about blowing your mind. Back to him in a minute. Grunge, Seattle's alternative music explosion of the 1990s. Along with it came an explosion of art called alternative comics, a cutting-edge phenomenon that's bigger and edgier than ever.
It took a long time for these comics to sort of develop a following, but now it's become a huge segment of a shrinking book market.
They're not comics for kids.
Alternative comics are geared to a more sophisticated adult audience.
An audience that prefers anti-heroes to superheroes.
People relate to these comics because they're dealing with everyday issues that the reader has to deal with as well.
Larry Reed is curator for Fantagraphics, the largest publisher of alternative comics in the world. Based in Georgetown, you'll find everything here from R. Crumb to the complete Peanuts library.
Fantagraphics played a crucial role in the explosion of comics in the Northwest by distributing these comics worldwide and being able to provide a source of income for dozens of artists in the Northwest.
Artists like Peter Bagge. He's the one who coined the term alternative comics in 1990.
Peter Bagge was a fairly astonishing cartoonist in his ability to both parody and capture the sensibility of the grunge era.
The groundwork for these comics was laid in the early 80s by a trio of brilliant Northwest artists.
Linda Berry came to prominence by publishing an Ernie Poot comic that was syndicated in alternative weeklies nationally. Charles Burns did the same with his Big Baby comic and later his comic serial Black Hole. And of course, Matt Groening was doing a more primitive Life in Hell gag cartoon strip that was published in alternative weeklies, and he later moved to Los Angeles and is producing The Simpsons.
But let's get back to Bagge, Peter Bagge, and his well-loved comic, Hate.
Peter Bagge followed the exploits of the hapless Buddy Bradley and this gang of lovable losers. It was very comical and self-deprecating. At the same time, it was a very realistic portrait of Seattle youth culture throughout the 1990s.
Fast forward to the present, and Larry gives us his picks for today's alternative comic rock stars.
David Lasky is known for doing mini comics about historical figures. Ellen Forney, who's primarily known for her erotic comics, and maybe foremost among them, Jim Woodring.
Known mainly for his Frank comics, Jim Woodring is one of a select few artists seen as elevating comics to high art.
I want people to feel that they're not just looking at a story that was concocted for entertainment, but that a message is being passed through to them. That's my goal, to create that sense of a window opening and something new coming in.
Individual panels of Woodring's are like little works of art, and I sort of like the fact that he has this very conceptual, visionary approach to comics that really distinguish it from almost everything else being done today.
Which begs the question, who's driving alternative comics into the future?
I suspect the next big thing is hovered over a computer somewhere in his parents' basement, creating some phenomenally interesting web-based graphic novel that I can scarcely conceive of.
One thing is certain, long after grunge has gone, cutting-edge alternative comic artists like Jim Woodring continue to blow minds, one panel at a time.